Okay, picking up where we left off, we have the Simulink model, and what we want to do is we want to break the Simulink model up into individual components: driver, engine, transmission, driveline, and chassis. That's allowing the user then to, if we break up the Simulink diagram into individual components, we could then import those individual components and then view those models in the Amber workflows, be able to select the models and choose different models if we had alternates. So this is stepping through that process of taking a Simulink diagram, breaking it up into component models, and then importing them. So we'll start by going to the libraries folder and creating a new library. So we'll just call this example. And what I'll do is I will take this example SLX file and put it into the example library. Let me clear the workspace. Then I'll open this SLX file. Let me just close this one. And I'll use this one. I'll work from this diagram. So I'll open this SLX file, and then I'll copy each one of these component models into their own diagram. So I'll create a blank model, and I'll copy the driver into its own diagram here. What I'll do is I'll rename this as AMB, and then I'll save it. Now the file name has to match this model name. So whatever I use here for AMB_driver, I'm going to name this file the same. If it's not named the same, then there'll be issues when constructing the model by the building. So call this AMB driver, and I'll save that model. And I'll close that, copy the engine and create a new model, paste it here, save this as AMB engine. And I want to make sure that the block name is the same, so I'll save that. We'll do the transmission. This AMB transmission. Then I'll rename or copy driveline, do its own diagram, save that as AMB driveline. The other tip is to make sure you're careful with the casing. So I usually keep it all lowercase here in the file name and also in the model name. If the cases don't match, if driveline say was capitalized in the file name and not capitalized here, you could have issues depending on the version of MATLAB. And then finally, chassis. Oops. Let's call this AMB chassis. New file, save as. This is A and B chassis. Okay, so we could see here that we have each component that that our vehicle is composed of is a separate component model. So we have driver, engine, transmission, driveline, and chassis. So in the next step, what we'll do is we will go in and then create a top-level architecture for the vehicle. And then once we've created the top-level architecture for the vehicle, that will complete the work that we need to do in Simulink. And then what we'll do is we'll take the M file, break the M file up into separate initialization files, and then we'll go to the Amber user interface and import those files to create a vehicle.